Hello, and welcome to Steve's Mixtapes. If you were listening last week to Brian Turner's excellent mix, you will be aware that I was put in contact with Brian via ex-Sonic Youth drummer Steve Shelley. And my guest this week is another one that Steve very kindly put me in touch with. He is a musician who has played in a variety of bands such as When Dinosaurs Ruled The Earth, Spray Paint and Winged Wheel. And he also owns the live music bar Tubby's in Kingston, New York. So welcome to Steve's Mixtapes, Cory Plump.
Happy to be here.
It's good to have you on, Cory, yeah. So Tubby's, I was looking at your website and it tells me it's a neighbourhood bar with great cocktails, natural wine, mezcal beer and chill vibes. So what's going on at Tubby's at the moment?
So it's a 100 cap room. It's really small for a venue, but we get pretty big bands. We have actually a band from Leeds playing tomorrow called Nape Neck, who are great, kind of like no wave, kind of punk, post-punk stuff. They were just over in the States. They just played Goner Fest in Memphis.
Gather it's a goth evening tonight.
Tonight it's gothy, yes. We have this guy, Ronnie Stone. It's kind of like sleazy, kind of club music. It's like electronic drums and stuff. But it's gothy. And the weather just got cold for the first time. We just had our first frosting of the season last night. So it's good timing for the cold wave.
Okay. And actually, something else I want to mention. I gather from one of the interviews I saw with you about the bar that you're like me, a long time vegetarian.
Yeah.
I've been a vegetarian for, oh God, how long now? Something like 35 years or something like that. Yeah, and I was interested to see that you do veggie food in the bar, because you don't associate. Well, I know there's plenty of vegetarians in America, but I've made one trip to America right back in 1992, which was to Florida. And I had only just turned vegetarian, and finding food that was vegetarian then and actually telling people you're vegetarian, they looked at you like you were completely insane. Are things better now?
The 90s were rough for us veggies, but it's gotten better. I will say, in my opinion, I'm seeing a trend the last like 5 years in the United States where, especially kind of more like fine dining places it's like not cool to do vegetarian anymore or something. I feel like we had a really nice run in like the 2010s, and then like in the 20s, it's kind of like getting a little harder again. I also live in a town of only 25,000 people, so it's a small place.
Okay. Well, that from my perspective, that sounds like a pretty big place, because where I live in the middle of Wales, we have lots of hills and lots of sheep, but not very many people.
Okay.
It's a very different environment. And you're in New York, and New York State is something I don't think British people, well, you know, I've said to previous American guests, places like Florida, California, Texas, we have a really kind of, well-formed idea of what life is like there, what it looks like, what the culture is like. New York, we just think of the big city, really, which obviously we know a lot about from TV and film and all the rest of it. But New York State is actually, it's quite sort of rural, isn't it?
It is, like it's kind of a conservative state, and like kind of like rural if you get outside of the major metropolitan areas. You have Buffalo, that's another big city. It's a diverse, weird state for sure.
Okay, let's move on to your music choices then, shall we, Cory?
Sure.
Before we get to your Hit the Ground Running track, I just wanted to ask about your process of making the mix. I mean, did you enjoy doing it?
I did enjoy doing it. I'm sure your listeners know this, but you get sent a prompt of what is it, 10 tracks. I'm looking at it now. You get 10 prompts. It was really fun. I had a good time doing all the stuff. I cheated a little bit on the blue track where I just kind of looked in my digital library and typed the word blue in and picked one. But all the other ones, I really tried to stick to the themes. So I had a good time.
Well, choosing the song with blue in it is perfectly acceptable for the blue choice, and it's certainly not the level of cheating that listeners might remember my wife doing when she came on the show, where she's outrageous rule bending. So your Hit the Ground Running track, Cory, is Mayors, who I don't know a lot about. I know they're from Sacramento. I found an article about them in Impose magazine that called them Sacramento's shitstorm of an enigma. Would you agree that that's a good description of them?
Totally. They were organized chaos for sure. They were, in my opinion, the most underrated like punk band in the early aughts. I think the track I picked is from 2008.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they kind of refused all record labels. I think they only released everything themselves. Amazing band. Their records are probably still, I haven't looked in a while, but they used to be kind of hard to get because they only did, 300 or 400 copies of them. But yeah, I was obsessed with this band. Spray Paint that you mentioned earlier. We went out to Sacramento and recorded 2 records with Chris Woodhouse, who plays guitar in this band. So yeah, I absolutely love this band.
It's interesting you mentioned about them being chaotic because I wouldn't say they exactly sound like them, but the vibe I got from them was Butthole Surfers.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Um, and
that works.
That was Airplanes by Mayors from the 2008 album Megan's Lols, the hit the ground running choice of my guest on Steve's Mixtapes this week, Cory Plump. Right now, there is a question I ask every mixer, Cory, is have you always been somebody who's enjoyed making compilations and mixtapes and the like?
Yes, very much so. Whenever I was a kid in elementary school, my mom and dad owned a record store. So it was very much part of life. I would be, wooing all the girls with mixtapes and such. So yes, I'm a fan of the mixtape.
Yeah, the wooing part, you're definitely not the first person on this show to fess up to that. Okay, so your Something Old choice is from the 60s. Now, this is a type of music called rebajada. Is that right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
now,
I think that's a little bit. It's like rebajadas, I think.
Oh, rebajada. Yeah, sorry,
Huh?
my French pronunciation bad, but my Spanish isn't great. So this is originates in Mexico, yeah.
Yes, so Mexico, this is like slowed down cumbia basically. So
Okay.
there was this whole movement that's still very popular of essentially screwing up, slowing down rather, cumbia 45s in a live DJ setting. My wife and I lived in Mexico for a year, and we became friends with a bunch of DJs that played this kind of music, and we got really into it.
Okay, yeah. And there's a story, I looked it up online, and there's a story that originated one night in the late 70s when a DJ's turntable short circuited, and the playback slowed down, and everyone thought it sounded great, and that's sort of a happy accident where it comes from. I don't know how much truth there is in that story.
Yeah, that's the way I heard it as well. And that guy's still alive. I just saw he has a GoFundMe for some kind of like health
Oh, okay.
situation.
Okay. And the artist that you've gone for, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this. Is it just Los Diners?
Los Dineros, I think.
Los Dineros, okay. And you probably have better than me at pronouncing the title of the song as well, I would imagine.
Sampuasana.
Sam Puasana. Do you know what that means?
I have no idea what
All
that
right, I
means.
haven't looked that up either. Okay. Well, it sounds pretty good. It's from 1965, so yeah, let's hear it now. Right, Cory. Now, there's another standard question I ask everybody that comes on the show before we get to the something new choice, which is in this age where some ridiculous figure like 100,000 songs are released every day online, how on earth do you keep up with what's contemporary, or do you even try?
Okay, so I have a unique privilege, let's call it. I like program my music venue. I book all the bands that play there.
Okay.
So I get about 5 to 15 emails every day of bands with their new songs being like, hey, we're coming through on tour. We want to play your spot, or a booking agent hits me up or whatever. So I don't really seek new music, but it certainly seeks me.
Oh, okay. That's a
Um,
nice position to be in.
it is. It is. It can be. If I skip my emails for a few days, it's a gnarly jumble
Can imagine.
of chaos.
So if they're on tour, are you a stop between New York and I don't know, Boston or something like
Yes, Boston, we get a lot of people going up to Montreal in Canada,
that?
which is only
Okay.
3 hours from us. Yes, we get a lot of either on the way to New York City or just leaving New York City.
Okay. Okay. All right. So there's something new choice you've gone for. It's something from this year. It's an artist called Moon Mullins. Now, as I understand it, Moon Mullins is named after a cartoon strip character. Is that right?
I don't know his name, his origin name, but I know him pretty well. And I found him. It was an unsolicited ask for a show a couple years ago, and I loved it. It's like
Okay.
exotica kind of lounge music. It's really great. He's a studio musician. He like tours a lot as a drummer and keyboard player in indie rock bands.
Yeah. Okay. And this is from an album called Hotel Paradiso, which I gather is a concept album. When I read about it.
Yes, it's a great
Yeah.
album. I love it.
So I'll just read a bit. I found I can't remember where I got this from. Yeah, so from the perspective of some lone context-free traveller at loose ends, eager for a few days in another open-ended, simpler life. From their vantage, we see, hear, and feel Paradiso. So it's quite evocative, but it's quite sort of like library music
Yes.
style, isn't it? Yeah, and but I found myself tapping a toe along to this
Oh
today.
yeah.
It feels like kind of easy listening, but there's a lot going on in there, isn't there?
I actually love his record more, like his last record, but that one didn't come out this year. But his other record came out, I want to say 2 or maybe 3 years back. Uh, I kind of preferred that one, but I also love his new one.
Okay. And he's got a gig coming up with you next month, I think.
Yes, he does. I don't remember the date. We can edit
November
this
the
out.
7th, I've got written down here.
November the 7th it is, I believe you. So yes,
Okay.
he's playing very soon. And I'm excited for that.
From the 2025 album Hotel Paradiso, that was Moon Mullins with Lobby Music. Okay, Cory, just tell me a little bit then about some of the bands you've been in the past. So, when Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, tell me about them. So, funny enough, with the name, I thought it wasn't a million miles off the sound of the first Dinosaur Jr. album, you know, when they were just called Dinosaur. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I'll take that. You mentioned Butthole Surfers earlier. When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth was the first band I was in that ever got actually released on a label,
Okay.
and that was King Coffee from Butthole Surfers' late husband Craig
Okay.
released our music. He was an Austin person.
So, what was the name of your very first band?
I'm not gonna really go into that.
Okay.
It's luckily not made it much on the internet, so I'm gonna.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll keep that secret then. And then spray paint. I thought I could hear a bit of Butthole Surfers in there, a bit of Fire Hose possibly as well.
Sure, I'll take that. I mean, we were obsessed with The Fall. We were obsessed with Wire.
It's
So
quite
yeah,
post punk sounding, yeah.
yes, we did one 7-inch with a London label called Upset the Rhythm, and we toured over there kind of a lot. That was like the most successful band I'd probably ever been in, spray paint.
Okay. Okay. And then Winged Wheel is almost quite shoegazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had that on yesterday a couple of times. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Is
Oh,
that
great.
a Winged Wheel still a going concern then?
Yeah, we're announcing a new record next week. We're coming over to Europe for the first time in January of this year, or of 2026.
Okay. Well, are you playing the UK?
We are not this time. We got offered a show in London, but it didn't make sense for us to go there for one
Oh, that's a
gig.
shame. That's a shame. Although London is pretty much a stretch for me, since I live out in the sticks.
Ah,
Manchester is normally my
ah,
gig because I can get to Manchester in an hour and a half, and I have
okay.
a good friend who lives up there. Hi to Chris McAvoy, who appeared on show. Oh, I forget now, I'm losing track, but he was on a few weeks ago, and yeah, so Manchester is where I go. Yeah, London is an expensive jaunt for me because I don't have anyone to stay with. I have to pay for a hotel or an Airbnb, and it costs me a fortune, basically. Anyway, well, if you do ever do any UK gigs, then if you find a Manchester one, you'll definitely see me down the front, Cory, because I really,
Great.
really, really like the album.
There is a
But
there yeah, there is a plan to go to the UK at some point, so I'll keep you posted.
okay, please do. Right, something borrowed. Now you've gone for a artist with a very, very large back catalogue, one of the largest possibly. So it's James Brown. Why particularly this one by James Brown? I mean, it's an
So
interesting borrow, isn't it? Because it's a borrow from David Bowie.
it's I DJ a lot, and I play this every time I DJ because it's very confusing to people.
Mm,
Yeah,
I can
it
imagine.
came out real soon after Fame, the Bowie song that he rips off. And don't quote me on this, but I heard a thing where someone asked James Brown about it, and he said, "I've never heard that David Bowie song." And then David Bowie was asked about it, and he said, It's a real honor that we both came up with the same riff."
That's a very diplomatic response. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't know this one at all. And you know, when I first get the list from somebody, I make a playlist and I just listen to it without any context a few times first. I find that's the best way. And when I saw the name of this one, I thought, well, why is that? But it's not a cover of anything I recognise. But as soon as it came on, I just wow, because I mean, I still love Bowie, but when I was about 12, 13, I discovered Bowie in about 1981, 82 and bought everything up to that point. And among my my two favorites were probably Diamond Dogs and Young Americans, possibly because they were so different. I guess I loved Young Americans because it's not actually the sort of music I normally listen to, but David does it so well. It's fabulous. So no, it was great to hear this. And yeah, he must have done it pretty quickly because the album it was on, Hot, was 76, but the single actually came out in 75. So he must have been
Wow.
pretty swift to get it out. Anyway, so if you've not heard this before, here's James Brown borrowing, or perhaps coincidentally coming up with the same riff as David Bowie's Fame. This is Hot, I Need to Be Loved, Loved, Loved.
This morning I woke up all in heat. Couldn't find no dry spot from my head down to my feet. Got start thinking about the sweet, so sexy body, and my body begin to build. Couldn't forget the way you love my body shiver, and the cold sweat make me quiver. Then I need to talk to you, then I need to be with you, then I need to squeeze you, I need to please you, then I need to love so good, love it. Then I need to take you with the power in my hand. Then I know you've been loved by a desperate man. Then I make you good about the last time that you were born. Then let you know this love in your body moan. I need to be loved, 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 loved. I need to be loved, 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 loved. I wanna be loved, 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 loved. I need to be loved, 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 loved. I wanna be loved, 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 loved. I need to be loved, 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 loved. I wanna be loved, 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 loved. Make me feel good when you say sweetest man alive. Ooh, feel me. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, 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 ah. Got gas in the coffin and my blood in the sweat. Couldn't find no comfort, love and hell and fret. Then I start thinking about the sweet, so sexy body, and then my body being love and build. Couldn't forget the way love my body shiver. The cold sweat make me quiver. Then I need to talk to you, then I need to be with you, then I need to squeeze you. I can please you, squeeze you. Love it. Love it.
I mentioned in the intro, Cory, that I was given your details by Steve Shelley. So how did you get to know Steve?
Steve played at Tubby's in a couple different projects. I got his, we kind of hit it off, and I'll tell a slightly embarrassing story about myself. So I had too much to drink one night, and I had his phone number, and I texted him and asked if he would want to play some music sometime. And I was really horrified that I thought I'd maybe crossed a line there, and he was so nice about it. And he said, absolutely, let's jam. And so the rest is history.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I've obviously only met him from doing one of these interviews. In fact, we're doing this on the 10th of October. His show is actually coming out tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really good one. And I met him for that hour. I've exchanged a few emails with him. And, when I've had people on who are, at least reasonably well known, I always ask, do you have any sort of musician, writer, friends, etc. you could put me in touch with? And people often, sort of politely fob me off, which is fair enough. But Steve was great. He gave me 5 names, including yours, all of which have said yes. So it's been great. No, he just struck me as a really lovely guy, as well as being a great drummer. Right. Okay. This is the only one, I think I'm right in saying, Your Something Blue choice is the only one by an artist that we've had once already. And I'm struggling to think. Oh, I do know. Martin Brahma, of course, founder member of The Fall, chose a song from this same album, not the same song. I forget off the top of my head which song, but it's the Cindy Lee album from last year, Diamond Jubilee. Quite an impressive thing, isn't it? Diamond Jubilee. It's a sprawling thing.
Incredible piece of art. Yes, I'm obsessed with that album.
It's quite hard to listen. Not hard, but it's quite hard to take in all in one go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, why particularly this one? Well, actually, I know the answer to this already, don't I? It's because it has blue in the title.
This is true. Yeah. I was looking for a reason to pick a Cindy Lee track, and this checked the box.
And interesting enough, having talked about Bowie with the last one, obviously it wasn't a Bowie original, but there's a song he did on Pinups, originally by the Merseys, I think, Sorrow. And I think this melodically sounds a little bit like that. Do you hear that?
I can hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's hear now. This is Cindy Lee with Baby Blue. From the 2024 album Diamond Jubilee, that was Cindy Lee with Baby Blue. Right, we're going to take things down a bit now, and your choice, Cory, is a band I only know from one album. So I remember somebody sending me a link to the album that this band did with Bonnie Prince Billy.
Yes.
The Epic Jammers one that they did in 2016. So this is Bitchin' Barges, but I didn't know their stuff terribly well. I was quite impressed to see this is their second album of 2025.
They work. These guys work so
Yeah.
much. Cooper's an engineer at Electrical Audio, the famous Chicago recording studio.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they put their work in, those guys.
Yeah. And it's very I describe it. I mean, it's psychedelic, basically, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
in the proper meaning of the word, it feels kind of quite mind altering. And both the albums this year have just been 4 tracks long, haven't they? And I like a bit of an expansive album. You know, everything has space to breathe and so on. Why particularly the song you've gone for is Skylarking? Why particularly that one?
This one, I don't know. I've been driving to their music. I drive 20 minutes each direction to school every day, and
Okay.
it's been bitchin' Bajas nonstop for me this season.
We're moving on to your around the world choice now, Cory, and this is another standard question I always ask people. I mean, we've already had something non-US UK in your list already. So would you describe yourself as somebody who listens to a lot of, for want of a better term, world music, i.e. stuff that isn't from North America or the UK?
Very much so, yes.
Any particular, is it just stuff from around the world or generally, or any particular sort of genres or countries or areas that particularly interest you?
I listen to a lot of Central and South American music.
Okay.
I find it to be like a very refreshing change from the 12-bar blues rock music that I listened to for 30 years of my life.
Okay. So this is an interesting artist and an interesting song with a bit of a story behind it. So the one you've chosen is Alejandro Duran. I think I'm saying that correctly. The song is Alicia Adorada, and this is Colombian. The version that we've got here was a single in 1966, but the song was actually written by Juancho Polo Valencia about the death in childbirth of his wife, and it's become sort of a classic song. Apparently, Valencia sold the rights to the song to a record company in exchange for the money he needed to buy liquor. So a bit of a sad story there. But it's been, I think, done by hundreds of people. But this particular interpretation is a particularly famous one. So what drew you to this choice?
I was in a cab in Colombia, and this song came on the radio, and I lost my mind about. I'd never heard it. It really hit me. I was jet lagged or something too, and I immediately had to track down this song and this artist, and I got obsessed.
Como Dios en la tierra no tiene amigo, como Él no tiene amigo que lo quiera. Tanto le pido, ay hombre, y se llevó a mi compañera. Tanto le pido, ay hombre, y se llevó a mi compañera. Pobre mi Alicia, Alicia dorada, yo te recuerdo en toda mi parranda. Como Dios en la tierra no tiene amigo, como no tiene amigo anda en el aire. Tanto le pido, ay hombre, y siempre me manda mis males. Pobre mi Alicia, Alicia dorada, yo te recuerdo en toda mi parranda. Alicia mi compañera, qué tristeza, Alicia mi compañera, qué dolor. Y solamente a Valencia, y hombre, el guayabo le dejó. Y solamente a Valencia, y hombre, el guayabo le dejó. Hay en Flores de María, donde todo el mundo me quiere. Yo reparo a las mujeres, ay hombre, y no veo a Alicia la mía. Yo reparo a las mujeres, ay hombre, y no veo a Alicia la mía. Donde todo el mundo me quiere, Alicia murió solita. Donde quiera que uno muere, ay hombre, todas las tierras son benditas. Donde quiera que uno muere, ay hombre, todas las tierras son benditas. Pobre mi Alicia, Alicia dorada, yo te recuerdo en toda mi parranda.
From 1966, that was Alejandro Duran with Alicia Adorada. And I gather that is the genre of folk music that is in Colombia is called vallenato. Am I saying that correctly?
Vallenato, yes.
Vallenato. Sorry, I did warn you my Spanish wasn't correct.
Oh.
Which means born in the valley. Not a genre I'm familiar with, but I'll look more of that up. I really enjoyed that song.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right, for Left of Centre. Now, this is interesting because I've recently been editing the interview that I did with Eleni Palou, who I'm sure you know as a member of The Fall and a electronic artist of her own right. And this song here is very left of centre by the standard of most people's mixes. It would have been sort of a mainstream one for her. So look out for her mix because it is quite something, as you might expect. So, yeah, this is sort of avant-garde, modern classical, drone, bit of free jazz in there. It's quite, atmospheric. This is Susan Alcorn, who I wasn't familiar with. And it's a 15-minute piece, so we'll only be hearing on this show an edit of that. But on the YouTube playlist that goes on the webpage at stevesmixtapes.com for this mix, there will be a full-length version of it. So this is, as I say, a long piece, and it's called And I Await the Resurrection of the Pedal Steel Guitar. Is this the sort of thing you listen to a lot?
She passed away this year, and I thought it would be a nice tribute to her. I was a big fan. I haven't been spending a lot of time with her music, and then when she passed away, I started listening again. I can't really handle listening to too much music like this all that often, but I'm glad it exists, if that makes sense.
I mean, we've had a couple of guests on before who've been like me. I sometimes work to things like that. If I really need to concentrate, I quite like something that sort of sits there in the background, something a bit drony.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those, you can have it on the background, but actually also if you stick it on with headphones and listen very carefully, there's a lot more going on than you first think.
Oh, yeah.
That was Susan Alcorn with And I Await the Resurrection of the Pedal Steel Guitar from the 2007 album of the same name. Right, on to your wild card choice. Now, this was an interesting one because I could find out very little about this band other than the fact they're from London. And that was about it. So this is Container with a song called Drain. So can you tell me much more about Container?
Sure. His name is Ren. He's from Providence, Rhode Island, over here, not far from me. He married a English lady. He has a child, and they moved to London.
Okay. And sound-wise, it was quite an interesting... It works, the pacing of it works very nicely because it kind of
Yeah.
thunders into life after the sort of ambient stylings of Susan Alcorn. And I've written down Prodigy / Orbital / Autechre.
Sure, that makes
There's
sense.
bits of all of those in there. The Autechre bit, it's particularly sort of very wobbly keyboard sound as well, sounds very much like them, but the driving rhythm is very Prodigy. There's a spaciness about it which is quite Orbital as well. So there's lots of those things. But no, I enjoyed this a lot. I haven't heard the rest of the album. Is the album is interesting, called LP. Is it all of a similar style to that?
Yeah, yeah. Like to me, his music sounds like broken techno music,
Yeah.
like techno music that's not quite right.
That was Drain by Container from the 2018 album called LP, and that was the wildcard choice of my guest mixer this week, Cory Plump. So we're nearly on to your finale choice, Cory. So just to ask you really, what's going on with you in the future? I know we've talked a little bit about some upcoming gigs at Tubby's. I know you've recently, we were talking before we started recording, that you've recently experienced being a support act for Neil Young.
Yes. The rest of my year is finishing up my first year of college, which is exciting. Then in January, we're going to go on tour with Steve Shelley again, Winged Wheel touring in Europe. Yeah, that's kind of my next few months.
And any artists coming up that I haven't mentioned to Tubby's that you'd like to plug?
I don't need to push anything. It's okay. I can't even get my head to December right now, to be totally fair.
So on to your finale choice. Now, I've heard this artist, possibly this song, before, and I thought he was somebody. It's Henry Flint, and the song is called Lonesome Train Dreams. I had it in my head that he was on the Nurse with Wound list. Are you familiar with the Nurse with Wound list?
I am familiar with them, yes.
So, but you know about the list off the first album, the list of however many 167 artists?
No, I don't know this.
Yeah, so on the first album, on the sleeve, they listed, I can't remember how much, it might have been 200 and something artists that they considered were important, most of which are, quite obscure. I actually started doing a blog on it, but I only got as far as the letter B. I just got a bit exhausted. Some of the stuff was so hard work finding it and then taking it in, because some of it was like, 30-minute pieces of free jazz. It was quite hard work. But he's not on that list, so I don't know where I've come across Henry Flint before. I just know that I have. But he's part of the Fluxus scene from the 60s, isn't he?
Yes.
So how did you come across him?
Let's see. There's the label out of San Francisco that releases all of Cindy Lee's music. They just released, or they had started to release some of his records, and I just bought one randomly and absolutely loved it. It was so strange, and there's country music parts and also just like tape loops galore. It's super strange music, and it just really, this track in particular really scratches an itch for me.
Yeah, well, what I like about it, and as I say, I've heard him before and really like this, is it's music of contradictions. So it at once sounds very traditional, but there's something quite almost futuristic about it. It sounds quite countryish, but then there's also almost something like krautrocky experimental about it at the same time. So yeah, it's really interesting. One thing I learned about him looking it up is, did you know he actually stood in for John Cale in '66 in the Velvet Underground playing violin?
Did not know that.
And he, in an interview, he said, Reed taught me the repertoire in about 5 minutes because basically he just wanted me to be in the right key. At one point, I got into a fight with him on stage because I was playing something hillbilly influence on the violin, and that upset him very much. He thought it damaged the decadent S&M image they were projecting, which I thought was a lovely little story. Wow. And you can kind of picture Lou, I can imagine Lou Reed losing his rag over some guy coming along and starting playing something hillbilly in the middle of, I don't know, Venus in Furs or something like that. That would be marvelous. I'd love to hear a recording of that.
Me too.
Anyway, instead, let's listen to, and this is a really good song. We've not heard it before. Prepared to be confounded and delighted. This is Henry Flint with Lonesome Train Dreams. From the album Graduation, that was Henry Flint with Lonesome Train Dreams, the finale track of my guest mixer this week, Cory Plump. So it just remains for me to say, Cory, thank you very much for coming on. Sorry about our slight technical hitch at the beginning. I'm sure listeners won't notice that we were doing the first 3 or 4 minutes for the second time in a row after I inadvertently failed to record our first go. So thank you for your patience with that. I hope you enjoyed coming on.
I loved it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.